This is the moment college football fans wait all year for. The regular season is over. Conference championships are in the books. Bowl week has kicked off. And now, the spotlight turns to round one of the college football playoffs, where perception clashes with production, where power meets opportunity, and where a game on paper threatens to turn into something much bigger once the lights come on. Saturday night, 7:30 p.m., TNT broadcast, Eugene, Oregon. A number 5 powerhouse with championship expectations against a number 12 group of 5 team that many believe doesn't belong in this moment at all. James Madison versus Oregon. This isn't just a game. This is a referendum on the playoff system, on roster depth, on trench dominance, and on how wide the gap really is between contenders and challengers when the stakes are at their highest. Game. James Madison versus Oregon. Round 1 of the college football playoffs delivers James Madison against the Oregon Ducks, with the game taking place in Eugene and airing on TNT at 7:30 p.m. Oregon enters this matchup ranked number 5 with an 11-1 record, while James Madison is mentioned as number 12 with a 12-1 record. James Madison represents a group of 5 program and did not beat a Power 4 team this season, yet earned their place as one of the 5 highest-ranked conference champions. Along the way, names like Notre Dame, Vanderbilt, Texas, Ole Miss, and Tulane have been referenced in discussions surrounding who might have filled these playoff slots, but the matchup is set, and now the contrast between these two programs becomes impossible to ignore. From a market perspective, the numbers surrounding this game paint a clear picture of expectation. Oregon is listed with an 88% chance to win, and that probability escalates to 99.9% when framed more bluntly. The Ducks are positioned as 21-point favorites, with the spread reiterated again as a 21 spread, and the total set at 50.5. The angles surrounding this matchup include the moneyline, the spread, and the over-under, with the prevailing outlook suggesting Oregon not only wins outright, but could potentially cover the 21-point margin. No final score has been officially picked yet, but established in the direction of Oregon. When we break down James Madison statistically, the production is real. The Dukes are 12-1, averaging 37.3 points per game, throwing for 202.5 yards per game, and rushing for 245.8 yards per game. Their offense totals about 450 yards per game, presenting a balanced attack that can stress defenses in multiple ways. Defensively, James Madison allows 15.8 points per game and gives up just 76.2 rushing yards per game. On paper, this is a complete, efficient football team. The challenge, however, lies in whether those numbers can translate against a top-tier opponent that operates on a very different level of physicality and depth. Oregon's statistical profile tells the story of a roster built to overwhelm. The Ducks average 38.2 points per game, throw for 246.8 yards per game, and rush for 218.4 yards per game, producing nearly 500 yards of offense on a weekly basis. Defensively, Oregon allows just 14.8 points per game, gives up 144.3 passing yards, and another defensive figure mentioned sits at 107.3. This is a top 10 overall roster, a top 10 rushing team in the country, and a top 10 national defense operating within a Big Ten conference described as featuring some of the best defenses in the nation. Anchoring everything is an offensive line nationally praised as the best in the country and identified as the number 1 offensive line out of the Big Ten. At the quarterback position, Oregon is led by Dante Moore, who in his first season starting has thrown for 2,800 yards with 24 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. While not described as a dual-threat quarterback, Moore is capable of scrambling for 20 to 30 yards when coverage breaks down. Around him are weapons like Whittington and Benson, and there is ongoing discussion surrounding Stewart, a high 4-star or 5-star talent who may be returning after not playing for some time. If Stewart is available, it adds another layer to an already loaded offense. James Madison counters with Barnett III, who is closing in on 2,600 passing yards with 21 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. In the backfield, Knight has accumulated 1,300 rushing yards, anchoring a ground attack that fuels the Dukes' offensive balance. However, this matchup places immediate pressure on Barnett, who is expected to have about 1.5 seconds to throw as Oregon's front 7 closes in. Against a defensive front built to dominate the line of scrimmage, James Madison is unlikely to reach its season averages. The trench battle defines everything in this game. Oregon is expected to dominate the line of scrimmage, run downhill, and physically impose its will. The Ducks are projected to be pushing James Madison off the point of attack, to the extent that backups are expected to be in at halftime. For James Madison, the margin for error is razor thin. They must play a perfect game to keep this contest close, executing cleanly on every possession while facing relentless pressure from a defensive front designed to erase balance and force mistakes. The timing and historical context also matter. Oregon went undefeated last season, won the Big Ten championship, sat 3 or 4 weeks without playing, and then lost to the Buckeyes. This season is different. The Ducks have not played football for 2 weeks, but instead of facing a heavyweight immediately, they get a group of 5 opponent and a chance to get the offense oiled up heading into next week. The objective here is rhythm, dominance, and health, with injury and portal status still pending and monitored closely, particularly regarding players like Stewart. From an analytical standpoint, the spread sits at 21 points, and while it is a massive number for a playoff game, the narrative surrounding this matchup consistently circles back to Oregon's depth, physicality, and efficiency. The outlook suggests Oregon wins outright, with a lean toward the Ducks potentially covering the spread, though no official final score has been assigned yet. Parlay-style scenarios discussed remain centered on how Oregon's offense and defense align with the spread, total of 50.5, and overall game flow rather than any explicit instructions. This game ultimately serves as a tone setter for Oregon's playoff run. A chance to dominate early, rotate personnel, and sharpen execution before the next stage. Final score predictions will come a couple of days later, once injury updates and roster movement are fully accounted for. For now, the data points in one direction: Oregon advancing, Oregon controlling, and Oregon walking away from Eugene with momentum firmly on its side. If this breakdown helped you see the game from a different angle, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to Beyond the Box Score, and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep playoff breakdown. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know how you see this matchup unfolding. I appreciate you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.